Get out of my gonnies, dude.
What's up, YouTube? So today we're gonna go over just the corals that I have in here. It might be a little bit of a longer video just because I've got some pieces and I'll kind of go into each one. But we'll start with the acros up top. See if I can get a shot because I'm gonna have to shut this flow off a little better. We'll go over them. I'll start with my first piece, was this one. So this is, I'm not even sure. I got this from a local fish store, but it puddled out and now it's starting to throw branches. It's like a neon green and throwing some reds, as you can see. Really nice, turning into a pretty cool piece. Next over is my Jason Fox Jolt. So that is the Jolt. One of my favorite acros. Yeah, it's just a small frag. It's starting to encrust though on the plug and the base there. And so it's doing good, throwing some colors. Everything's rocking with it, super happy. It's really rewarding to see these pieces start to grow and the colors and stuff. Next one down, probably my favorite one at the moment. This is my Jason Fox Home Wrecker. And it's throwing some ridiculous colors, starting to encrust all over the plug, throwing some new branches. It's taken off for sure. Down here, that is called a Hoe Wrecker. That's the Home Wrecker. And that is called the Hoe Wrecker. That's from Coral Exotic 10 on Instagram. I got that piece from him. I actually got both these pieces from him. And yeah, it's sweet. It's not a well circulated piece like, you know, the Jason Fox Home Wrecker and the Jolt and the Disney. Right there's the Walt Disney. Although it's a little lots of low color. This one is struggling because one of the fish actually knocked it off the plug, and it was probably in the sand probably a day or so before I realized it. And I was really worried I was going to lose this one. It was not looking good. And so now colors are coming back out. Polyps are starting to get happy again. Ready for that one to start taking off. It's pretty much just the same. It hasn't grown much, but it's getting its colors back. And I attribute that to one of the fish knocking it off. The blue tin gets a little rowdy. The TSA Sour Patch Kids. It's almost like a Garf Bonsai type of vibe. I'm trying to avoid the light glare, sorry. Keep moving around, trying to focus the camera. It's almost like a Garf Bonsai, but it got a little bit of like a green hue to the purple in between the bright yellow polyps. Really cool. It's encrusting well, doing well. This is the TCG or TGC, I forget, but the Acrolandia. I just got this one, the most recent, and it's doing well. It's encrusting well. The colors aren't as crazy as I thought they would be, but it's starting to color up more. When these acros come in, they lose color obviously. So through shipping stress and all that stuff, they can take a little while to color back up after that. So it's starting to color back up, throwing its the color it's known for. But that's the Acrolandia. So yeah, this is the TCG Cherry Bomb, or TGC. Again, I get that flip-flop. I don't know. Sorry. But both of these little frags here, this little nub is actually a branch of this frag that I broke off when I was trying to move stuff around. So I glued it down and it's growing, it's encrusting, so I'll get 2 frags of that. This cherry bomb came in super bleached, white. It looked like a skeleton. I thought it RTN'd in the bag and shipping. Again, sometimes with shipping these acros, they lose color and whatnot, but the water, it was a delayed shipment. The water got down to like 60 degrees probably, and was not doing well. And then if you move on to this is actually that's a maricultured piece. It was weird. It wasn't like just all green when I brought it in, but it's changed. So funny story with this one, I blame this piece for losing pretty much my entire torch collection. Yeah, acros are doing well. Just little frags right now, but it's gonna look sweet when they're in colonies. I had right here, this was an Angry Birds RIP, and I've had a few other high-end pieces that just I lost, like RTN. So I've got space still, so probably gonna get another Angry Birds and have another go at it. Sometimes you lose pieces, and especially when you're first learning how to how to take care of acro, and it's become kind of my obsession. Just I think the difficulty and the challenge of it. See him throwing crazy colors and encrusting and growing is really rewarding when you get into the acros. So currently that's my fixation is getting these acros grown out into nice colonies. And I mean, look at that thing. It is crazy. But anyways, we will move on. All right, so we move on to the Ghanies. So I have in the front, that is called an Addie's Unicorn Gotti. My daughter her name's Addison. And so that's her favorite piece. I got it in person at Worldwide Corals as an unnamed just Ghani frag they had there. And it's, this is it right here. That's the colony. So that's Addie's Unicorn Ghani. And that's a special piece just because it's Addie's favorite, it's my daughter's favorite piece. And so you can see the clowns like to host, or the Ghanis are hosting, whatever. They dive their heads in there, and behind it, the TCK flame tip is not as flame tippy as it should be, just because the clownfish like to dive in there. Then we have got a glitter Ghani next to the highlighter Ghani. And I bought these as highlighter or glitter bomb Ghanis, but I don't know, they're just neon green. I don't see, it's just a green Ghani. So I had an Amaze Balls Ghani. It actually just closed up and brown jellied and died. At the same time I introduced that wild Millie I was talking about that killed all my torches and most of my hammers. So that's this side. Oh, and I have there's a little Monty I got there. I don't even remember where I picked that up. I think it was just a free frag that I got from a local fish store. They gave it to me, so I put it up there. My Acantho. This thing was like probably double the size, fully inflated, but it was struggling for a while. It got to a point where skeleton was exposed. I thought I was gonna lose it. Weird, it's got some weird like bounces on it. I'm sure that's kind of typical but you can see it's got like a bounce on it. It looks like a bounce mushroom. It's kind of funny. These are probably my favorite pieces in here. These are the Micromusa colonies I have, frags that I've made. So we'll start with this one. That is the Mac coral. So my own kind of name on that one is the Rainbow Spark. It's just a plain like green, yellow acan. Nothing's a jawbreaker type. So you can see it get some green on there and stuff. So it was super sweet. I just probably fragged half that colony and sent the majority of the green pieces over to my buddy on Instagram for that trade deal we did, which it was worth it. He gave me some crazy, like some fire pieces. So back there's the Pink Eye Micromusa, just a basic acan I got as a freebie on one of my orders. And you have the Holy Grail Micromusa. That's a nice piece, the F2M Holy Grail, and I got a couple frags of that one there. Moving on, that is the Mac, I call it the Dark Magic, back here. So I have, it's not really doing it justice right now, but fish are kicking up the sand. That's a nice piece. I've been growing that one out. I've again fragged it a lot, so this is what I have left, growing this colonies back out, keeping these frags to grow back out, so I'll have, you know, some copies. This is probably my favorite one. This came from Ryan, my buddy Ryan Chummingham. So Chummingham's Reef, I'm sure you guys have seen him on social media and whatnot. I did had a trade deal with him, and he sent me this piece. Probably my favorite out of all my acans. So I have a frag of that right next to it, of growing bout, and then this colony that I grew up from a single polyp. And then moving on over, this is a deal I got in a recent trade. This is the CC Solar Flare. I've since moved it to a new, I was on a plug, and the plug was, I don't know, it just didn't, I'd rather have it on a tile to help grow it out. So I repositioned it, moved it a little bit. So it's doing good, and hopefully start throwing out some babies pretty soon. Behind that, I have so that's a Black Hole Sun, and then tucked underneath that, the red, they look pretty similar. That's the Cornbread Twisted Fire Starter. That one I almost lost. So I have, it's like a weird, you can see a skeleton like that. It's like a baby polyp and then a weird weirdly attached, like floppy polyp of an acan. So it's fine that it's just tucked under those black hole suns, because I don't want the flow to rip it off or anything. So it's just hanging out. It's recovering and growing. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if something stung it or fish got into it, but it's yeah, it was. I thought I lost it for a while, but and here, of course, the OG Mardi Gras acans. Moving over into some really high-end stuff. This is the BSA Electra. It's insane. So no words. It's crazy. And then right next to it is the BSA Utter Ridiculousness. That's the one. That's another one I got in crate from my buddy on Instagram. ZHC Reef, I believe. And yeah, he sent me that, super generous. It was a nice colony, and I wanted to switch out the plug it was on, and it had some polyps wrapping around the plug. So as much as I didn't want to, I ended up cutting it. So I made 2 frags of that, which I am now happy about, because this one's growing back, probably 6 polyps, got some on the backside too. And then these little frags are starting to throw babies. So I'm gonna have some Utter Ridiculous frags here to offer probably the next few months or so. Or I'll just keep them to keep growing it out. I like to have backups, similar to this BSA Kill Shot right next to it. So I got my BSA Big 3 right here. But the BSA Kill Shot right next to the BSA Utter Ridiculousness and the BSA Electra. So I got my BSA Big 3 pieces right here. That's the Kill Shot frag back there. Here is my Mac Corals Macadelic. You guys have probably seen that on Instagram. I've posted it quite a bit, fragged it quite a bit. Cactus and Corals Desert Days. Another really nice piece. Starting to throw, I got it as a single polyp. It's starting to throw multiple babies on the bottom rim right there. You can see them coming around all the way around it. So that's my Micromusa collection currently. I'm always looking to add to that. So yeah, those are those. Have them right up in front, kind of moderate light, moderate flow, and they're doing well. I target feed them here and there with Reefroids. So I'm not a big Zoa guy, but I have the Exospheres, the Grandmaster Cracks, and I don't know what these are. I got them as a freebie, unlabeled. They look like maybe eagle eyes or something. I'm not sure. If you know, leave a comment. Let me know what those are. I have this Bauer Banky, I got it as a rainbow quote Bauer BSA Butt Kisser Blastos, and I got a frag of that I've fragged again. I like to keep backups of stuff. And then that is the WWC Rainbow Blasto. Looking to add some, I want to get some like Master Scolies and maybe another Acantho to kind of fill in this corner area. We'll move over to my favorite corner. Again, if you've seen a pattern, all of this is my favorite. All right, moving over to my mushroom corner, and the torch and the Ophelia are right above it. So I kind of put this rock as an overhang to give less light to shadow these shrooms, because in the chalices are in the low light section. But so of course we have the eye grabber here are the WWC OG Bounce shrooms. I've had these for a while. I started out with one, and I grew it to a huge mother-sized mushroom, and then when I got into fragging and stuff, I took a razor blade to it, and I've fragged it a bunch of times. I've sold a bunch of them, so it's paid for itself well over, and I love this coral. How can you beat that? The OG Bounces. So I have 2 right now. Gonna grow them out. I'll keep one, and I want to grow this big one with those nice big bounces on it. I'm gonna grow that one into a monster. And then this one will be kind of my frag workhorse. Same with the Frankenstein bounces. Started with one, probably about the size of a penny. Like, it was tiny, and fragged it probably a few months ago. So now I have 2 good size Franks, and same kind of thing. I'm gonna grow one of them into a monster, and then the other one I'll keep for fragging purposes. All right, the shroom I got here, this bounce on the bottom, I got that as a cornbread flamethrower. So it's a St. Thomas bounce mushroom. Pretty sweet. It's kind of struggling though. It's never been super happy. When I got it, it come off the tile it was on when it was shipped, and I got it to reattach to this tile, but it's just barely attached. It's not the happiest thing. I've moved it around some, so this is the place where I found that it's the happiest, and it's with my other shrooms. So that's where it's gonna be if it's gonna stay. Then I have the Jawbreaker, of course. So just got some nice reds in it. Starting to attach to this rock down below, this overhang, and so hopefully it splits and throws some babies and stuff. All right, so moving to my chalices. This is probably my highest end chalice is the WWC Cosmic Candy Bounce Chalice. It's just a little guy right now, filling up a frag plug, but it's growing pretty well. I hope more of those fluorescent greens come through. So it's got some, but it's more so the darker green right now. It's doing well. It's growing. So the greens are coming out on the edge. You can see the highlight greens coming out through the bounces. Happy with it, and I love that piece. Jelly bean, the WWC jelly beans is what I got this as. It's growing pretty well. I wish I had a little more blues and the greens in it, but it's got the greens on the edge there and it's doing well. Same thing for this. This is the SC Dynamite Chalice. It's filling up that whole tile. That's a 2x2 tiles. All right, and so moving on to the torch up here. This is the CC 24K Holy Grail. And yeah, it's a crazy torch, the craziest torch I've ever owned or seen. You can see that green transitioning to the gold. It's just insane. I got this from my buddy ZHC_reef on Instagram. We did that trade deal. So same, I got these Utter Ridiculousness, the CC Solar Flare, and this torch. And this the Desert Days, and a trade for some Ghanies and a lot of the Acans I had. But yeah, he sent this torch as part of the deal, and man, that's super. It's just a testament to his generosity. It's insane. So yeah, when I introduced that wild mariculture Millie up there, I don't know if it was that or that's the only thing I can think of. But I had a crazy bacterial infection issue with. It took out my Amazeballs Ghani and all my torches. I had a Tiger Torch, an ASD Holy Grail, a Sun God, and a New York Knicks Colony. It took all of those out. I couldn't save them. And it almost took all my hammers out. One in the front, that's Cactus and Coral's Holy Grail hammer. I've had that one for a long time. It was a big colony, and I lost pretty much the entire colony except one small polyp I cut off that had a few little hammers, tentacles on there, like tiny. It was tiny. So you see how small it is now. That's after probably 8 months worth of growth on that little polyp. So it's finally coming back strong. So I'm happy I didn't lose it. It was one of my favorite hammers for sure. Right above it, that is the WWC Crazy X hammer. So it's got like a gold stem, like green mouth, super sweet hammer. I picked that one up in person at WWC, and then this one up here with the orange next to the bulb is the same. It's a WWC Crazy X hammer. However, it morphed in my tank, so I don't know. It's throwing some oranges, like the golds kind of turned to more orange, and the tips that were blue like that. See, this one has blue tips. This one has orange tips. It's pretty unique. I've never seen another one like it, and so hopefully it can bring some of the more crazy oranges out, because right now they're just pretty subtle. And then we have the gold. I don't know. It's a hammer, but it's also kind of making me look like a Frammer type of thing. Those hammers are so inflated. It's happy, but yeah. Trying to get some contrast in there. They just have a basic green, like toxic green splatter hammer back there. Okay. So my big Duncans. I got that as a freebie frag many years ago, like when I first started, one of my first corals. And it's just a big colony. The clowns like it. Like I said, I tried to get, they bounce between here and my Gaunies over there. So I have like a Fun Dip Echinata. This is the Ultron Favia. And then right next to it, I've had this one of my first corals I ever got. It's hardy because it's been through some stuff. You know, I have this Sunburst nymph back here. And it's great. It likes to be in the back. I've tried coaxing it everywhere. I had it on its own little island. It jumped off the island. It wants to be right there. It's happy there. I got this. It's a sweet nymph, but I got it to keep my clowns out of my Gaunies, as you saw earlier. And we got Emo Nemo right here. He pretty much sticks to the Duncans. He prefers the Duncans. And Swim Shady will go in the NIM every now and then, but he still goes over to my Gaunies, as you can see him over there.
Get out of my Gaunies, dude.
He comes back and forth. So it didn't really serve his purpose. I was trying to get him out of the Gaunies because he's kind of wrecking up that flame tip a little bit. That's his favorite one. And yeah, I think I'm gonna feed him. I'm not gonna feed him. We've eaten today. It's sunny. Yeah, the fish are pretty personable. Like, yeah, they're not very shy or anything, so it's been great, even with the cats running around and stuff. Which is the main reason I don't have a lid, is because I don't want the cats to jump on top of the lid as they would for sure. Without the lid, they don't mess with it, but if I had a lid on there, they'd get on top of it. And I try to keep as much cat hair out of the system as I possibly can. He's a Bengal and Savannah cat, so they don't shed a whole lot, but some. And so I just rather them not jump on top of the lid, so that's why I don't use a lid, and it's been fine. I haven't had very many jumpers or anything. I did have a nice magma wrasse that I got, and it jumped out, but so yeah, that's pretty much the livestock. The coral overview. It's gone well. Things are growing. Things are colored up. I love all the pieces that I have, and you know, it's exciting. I'm getting to a point now where I'm just letting stuff grow in. I've got room up here for probably a torch or two. I'm gonna get some nice special torches up there though, and definitely more. There's always room for more Acanthes, but plan to add another Amazeballs Gauni, maybe a red glitter Gauni. There's some crazy Gaunies coming out now that I'd really like to put in here. So, and then of course more acros. And I'd like to get a nice Monty cap for this area right here. That way, so I want to build kind of a nice low light, more shade in this area for some LPS. So I'd like to get more Scullies and yeah. So it's a work in progress. Waiting for these acros to grow out, and I've got a few more I want to add. Of course, there's always more coral to add. But thank you guys for watching, and if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like, and be sure to subscribe because I'm gonna be putting out more content, and we're gonna try to get this ball rolling. So thanks for watching.